My name is Aurelia Monene. I hope you can all hear me. I'm from Ada Africa, and I'm very happy today to have with us a great facilitator who volunteered to share his knowledge with us. That is Godlisten Nyiti. He's going to tell us more about himself. And today we are focusing on the area of research ethics, a very critical topic for us as we are working on our research papers. We cannot run away from ethical practices because ethics is not just about making sure we do not do harm, but it also affects the quality of our research and if people will actually accept the findings we say we have found. It is really based on how we can demonstrate that these findings were actually based on ethical processes and that they can now be generalized or used in whatever way. So welcome to today's session. It's participatory. Please have your questions ready, have your answers ready. We shall have Godlisten go first, tell us what he has for us. And then once he does his presentation, we shall then go to a Q&A. And he also has his own questions for you. And then after that, we shall have a discussion. So we are here for 1 hour, 1 hour and a half. And I wish you a good learning and engaged learning. Welcome, Godlisten. Please introduce yourself and tell us what you have for us today. I have made you a co-host so you can share your slides without any difficulty. Welcome.
Okay, thank you. By my name is Godlisten Goodluck, and I'm pursuing my master's in leadership in governance at an institution called MSTCDC, and I'll be very happy to share my knowledge and what I have about research ethics. And I hope this will be not only me giving knowledge, but I think it will be a win-win, and it will be very participatory. And I will try to make it as engaging as possible, so that we can learn from each other, because I believe knowledge is about learning and learning and relearning. So we just need to pay attention, and in case if anything it's not clear, you just tell me. I'll be very happy to share what I have with you, and I'll be very happy to gain what you have and what's your view on research ethics. Thank you.
Thank you, Godlisten. So the floor is now yours. Members, please introduce yourself on chat. Please let's know who is here. Put your name, your institution. We also use this as an opportunity for networking. So please put your name there as we continue. Welcome, Godlisten. And don't worry about the people joining. I'll be admitting them. Just concentrate on the...
Okay. Aki, thank you so much.
You're welcome so much. How is Tony?
Tony is fine with his girls.
Hello, we are hearing your conversation of Tony and his girls. Okay. And you can unmute yourself, Godlisten, please.
Okay, thank you so much. So I'll be very happy today to share with you on research ethics. And as we know, research is way that we collect and analyze data. But without ethics, our research will be a challenge, and it will be challenged with other scholars or any person doing research or any person who want to learn about your study. So if it doesn't observe the rules of the game, it will be very difficult for you to win, and it will be questionable that your study hasn't fulfilled the whole processes that will be making it to be qualified as a research. I will start with I think my screen has stuck. Yeah. So what is research ethics? I will start with the introduction. The introduction part as defined by Jeff Cooper. Research ethics involve the application of fundamental ethical principles of research activities, which include the design, implementation of research, respect toward the society and others, and the use of resources and research output, scientific misconduct, and regulation of research. So we can see research ethics is all about regulations on how you'll be conducting your study. It's not only about regulation, it's about how that study will be following all the principles of that will make it to be a fully and meaningful study for you to present it to other scholars or for student or graduate. How will you make it meaningful when you present it to your supervisors or the university research boards? The word ethics is discipline, study, or morality. And morality asks the question, what should one behavior be? So ethics, it's a Greek word. It was derived from a Greek word called ethos. And for the study, for research, it's important to observe ethics. And ethics not only observed in terms of while you're done with your research. While you're starting your research, it's when we start observing the research ethics, including so in research ethics, it's divided in three parts: pre-research, during research, and post-research. So that's all about ethics, and that's a brief about ethics while doing research. So it's how you study and how will you behave while doing your research. And research ethics, so a Greek word, ethos, is the systematic study of value concept, good, bad, right, wrong, and the general principle that justify applying these concepts. So so we can see hello? Someone's talking. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Continue.
Yeah. So research ethics, as you can see, the word ethic was derived from a Greek word ethos, and is a systematic study of value concept, good, bad, right, wrong, and general principle that justify applying these concepts. So while you're doing your research study, you must have values, and you must have the principle that will be guiding you. You must adhere to what your sample will tell you. If a person tells you, I don't want to be recorded in your research, it's good you don't record, because now that's why you'll be measured if you are ethically enough to conduct a study that you'll be doing. Research ethics also it refers as a set of principles, rules, guidelines, and norms of research related behavior that a research community has decided a proper, fair, and appropriate. In short, ethical research protects participants' rights according to Matthew Dingwall 2001. So we see this is a brief explanation on that. It's a brief introduction on what research ethics is. And what you do as a researcher is very important. It's not only to you, but your participant, on how you'll be handling their privacy, how you'll be presenting your data, and how you'll be collecting your data. That's very important to observe while doing a research. So research ethics, it's basically been divided into two. There's a descriptive descriptive ethics, which these are the ethics which that ask what does the society Can who is that? And unmute while you're in a meeting. It's good if you unmute and mute. Unmute when you're talking, but if it's just a thing that you can't, you just need to mute your microphone so as we can avoid these disruptions. Descriptive ethics, these are the ethics that ask what does a culture or society believe in morally correct. So when you're doing your research, there are sometimes you just need to have a descriptive mentality that you ask yourself as a researcher, what does this society believe? Let's assume here in Tanzania, when you're going to conduct a research in a Maasai community, and your topic speaks of FGM, it becomes a very critical challenge to you go directly and start condemning them that FGM is it's against women's rights and it's not right for them to do that. But for them, according to their culture, they believe it's very important for a woman to undergo the female genital mutilation. So it's very important for you to understand the culture of the society that you're going to conduct a research on. And I think for society or community that doesn't have a certain culture, I don't believe a culture that would be applicable in certain community is the same that would be in another community. So for a good researcher will critically judge himself or herself on his or her mind and ask like, if this community culture adhering with what with what my study says. So it's very important for you to understand first, to understand what that society believes and what you're doing morally correct according to them. So as you as a researcher, you can get in a trouble. I have one example of a friend of mine. He worked in a certain organization. So they had a study. They went to conduct a study in one of Maasai community in Tanzania. But unfortunately, when they went there, the main intention of the study was very good. It was about educating them about some of very good cultures that we're having, but not to discourage FGM in their study. But the moment they went there, they didn't even study that these Maasais they need something. You need to talk to their elders. They are they call them libels and what the elders. So after you talk to them, they give you a permission. If they give you a permission, you can talk anything you want, provided you have their permission. But them, they didn't follow the procedure. They just went there and conduct their study and start preaching that FGM is bad and it's good for women, and those people end up being beaten, and some of them were brutally hurt because it's against their culture and what they believe is not the other community brings them and feed them. So as a researcher, while you're doing a research, it's crucial and very important to understand the culture of the society that your study is going to focus on. And the other type of the research ethics is prescriptive ethics. And in prescriptive ethics, it asks, how should I behave as a researcher? What character or traits should I cultivate? Now this speaks of adaptability. You as a researcher, you won't be fixed-minded. You'll be fixed-minded while you're doing your study. You need information, you need data. And for you to get data, you need to get ready and well prepared that if I'm going to present this information to these people, definitely they won't like it and they will give me their suggestion and recommendation. So if they give me their suggestion and recommendation, what will I do? So what I have to do is cope and walk walk in their foot, like, okay, we believe in this. So you just twist your study. You'll be doing your study, but you twist your mentality of, instead of being closed-minded, let you be open-minded and let you be more transformational. Because you should not be closed-minded that I believe this is evil. You should even listen the good and the bad side. So you might say it's evil to you, but for them, it's very good what they are doing. And I believe for you to get data, you just need to have a, let's assume it's a quantitative or quantitative research. You need quantitative figures to believe, to show. So 50% say that FGM is kindly good for them, and 50% say that FGM is bad to them. And these 50%, which are saying FGM is very good to them and they're good with it, maybe are men. And the other group that's going against, let's say they are both men and women. So at least you see how you can interpret your data, because you see here it's both gender being involved, but here we see the masculine part of the community being involved in giving the sense that saying this culture is very good to us. So that was a brief summary on what is research and the type of research. What's research ethics, and the type of research ethics that are mostly being adhered to the community. Is there any question before I proceed with some quick question that we can ask ourselves? And I can even give you some 5 minutes or 10 minutes for you to discuss this question, and we can be assigned to our rooms and we do discuss and see what you're coming with. Then I will present and you will assess yourself. Then after assessing yourself, then I'll give a conclusion, or I will give a chance of each group to present. So is there any question? Kindly. Hello? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Members, do you have any questions? God Listen has just laid a foundation on understanding ethics, the prescriptive ethics, the descriptive ethics. Do you have any question around that? That you are actually dealing with, any dilemma that is actually coming up in your study vis-a-vis what is culturally acceptable? Feel free to ask as we continue. Maybe we can you as questions come, we will take them.
Okay? They said that they'll be putting the question on chat box. Oh.
Yes, you can unmute yourself or put the question on chat.
Okay. Oh, so I have these quick questions that I need everyone to think on and give contribution on. Why do we care about human subjects and protection, human subject protection? How do we follow research ethics and ethical guidelines? And the other question is ethic in reporting and findings, and who oversees research ethics? Those are 4 questions, are the questions that will be guiding us under the key concepts of informed consent, confidentiality, data collection, data storage, and data presentation. So it's very important while you're answering the 4 questions, you will be observing the key concept, like informed consent, confidentiality, data collection, data storage, and data presentation. So maybe if we can be assigned to our rooms, it would be very good for us to have at least 10 minutes discussion and come back and say what we have. Then I will proceed with the questions and you will see if, or where is the part of misunderstanding while doing research, where is the part that we don't adhere mostly as our researchers.
Okay, I will assign three breakout rooms. Maybe 4, because the questions are 4, and
Yeah.
it is automatically. Then God Listen will be checking with you the discussions. So let me, or would you like two groups maybe? Let me just do two groups so that the quorum is big. So you're now in two groups. Group one, room one, you will answer the first two questions. Room two, the last two questions. So maybe God listen, you can copy these questions on chat so that people can answer them. So the rooms are open. You'll have 10 minutes. So please join your group.
Awesome.
So God listen, you can be going checking the groups how they're answering. Please join the group. God listen, copy paste the question on chat so that people can see them. Please join your group. Leave the plenary and join group. So please join your group. Joki, Abdullah, Saminu. Please join your group. We are in breakout rooms. Emmanuel, you're in breakout group 2. Please join. Dan, please join.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, Dan.
We are only two.
You have not joined your breakout room. You're in
Huh?
breakout room number 2.
Number 2 means?
You join that room. We are discussing in groups.
Oh,
So you join. People are coming back in 10 minutes.
so how do I join another group?
Can you see a number written there? Join number 1, join number 2.
So I go out first, then I come back.
No. It's written there, join room 2. Let me move you to 1.
Where are they written?
Can you see?
Elder invite in room 1.
Yes, say you join.
I say?
Join it. Click on it. And then you go to that room. Have you seen it? Have you seen? Hi, Joyce. We are in breakout rooms. Please go to room 1. Hi, Wangai. We are in breakout rooms. So just wait. People are coming back. you have been assigned group 2. Please join. Welcome back. Welcome back. Good to have you. Welcome back. We see a lot of discussion.
Yes.
Over to you, God listen, and you can carry on.
Yes, yes. Hello, once again. I'm glad that we were at our breakout sessions, and I hope it went very well. And I welcome your inputs on the question. Then after that, I will proceed with my presentation. So I welcome group question number 1. Kindly. Njoki, can you kindly share what you people discussed in your breakouts?
Good evening, everyone.
Good
In our
evening.
group, actually, I think I spoke alone.
Oh, so they didn't contribute. Okay.
There was no
Njoki,
contribution.
Njoki, kindly present what you
Yeah, for me, I feel it's very, very important to respect the research ethics. One, even to protect ourselves. If we make some of the mistakes, it's very easy to be sued and go to prison.
Yeah.
Or even sometimes, if we don't also observe it, like copying exams, name it, it's also possible, like even when degrees are conferred on us, they can be, taken away from us. Then also the issues of being in people, researchers, scholars of integrity, in terms also of telling lies, where we promise our respondents that we may give them something, even sometimes in terms of money. They give us all the information, and maybe sometimes we don't honor that. And also you see also the procedures that also we need in order maybe to look for research funding, name it, very many issues. So I find that the research ethos, they are really critical, and it is very, 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 they are not compromisable. Thank you, God reason.
Oh, thank you, Njoki, for that very, very wonderful, insightful contribution. I welcome the second group for their question. They are finalized by contribution, and that was amazing, Joki. It's a one-man army. I love it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The second group, kindly.
Okay, I'll present. Our question was, why do we care about human subjects protection? And we talked about confidentiality. First, we defined our human subjects as the people that we collect data from, whether it's through qualitative or quantitative research. But then we thought the ones that we collect data from through qualitative research, because of the immersing ourselves into their daily lives and routines, we decided to focus on them. And we talked about confidentiality as one of the reasons why we should care about protection of the data they give us. We talked about culture, which Giti had already presented to us. We also talked about issues of justice. And then we talked about the fact that we want to be trusted by the community or by the organization, the people that we are collecting data from. So if we care about their protection, then they'll be able to give us the information that we seek. But if we don't protect the information, then we will not be able to get the data that we need. Thank you.
Yeah, that was amazing. Congratulations to everyone who participated on the session and have their contribution. With all due respect, I will proceed with our presentation from the question. Then the last two questions which are left undone, we shall have a time at around at around 7:15. It will be a 5-minute session, breakout session. So let's proceed with our presentation, and I will take you through on what if Madam allows me to allow you people again to have some times for discussion, because I believe that some people have just joined but they didn't have time for discussion. They just found that the discussion is almost at the end. Yes. So our first question was why do we care about human subject protection? And I hope everyone is seeing the screen on the 4 question. So I would like for you people to take note on assign you again to another breakout sessions, and you people have time to discuss and to see and come up with what your suggestions are and what should be done. So when you're done taking questions or noting questions, just tell me and we shall proceed. I hope we are done with the question. Okay, we can proceed with why do we care about human subjects protection? The reason I come across this question is because I believe that while doing research, our main subject, most of subject that will hold us accountable and responsible are human subject. Me, you, everyone in this podium, everybody on earth. can sue you as a researcher for not care about their protection. So I will take you on it's a brief explanation and some key points that we need for us to know why do we care about human subject protection while doing research. First and foremost, it's important to protect the rights and the well-being of individuals who participate in research. Research can involve risks to participants, such as physical harm, psychological distress, and privacy violation. Speaking of research, it's important to protect the rights and the well-being of an individual. So its well-being can start with psychological. Let's say you're speaking of a very, very sensitive issue, and this person told you not to record their video. These individuals told you not to refer them by their names and the address of their location, but you prefer to record everything about them. At the end, if they discover that, it will be psychologically torturing them and distressing them in their daily activity. Let's say this person is a person who works with maybe a certain institution in a government, and they told you not to involve them. They will involve in your research, but don't post them or don't tell them, don't make it so public. So you will find yourself as a researcher violating even their privacy, because they told you not to share even their video, but you have shared. Now everybody knows, okay, the certain person is with us, but he's betraying us. He's speaking the reality, the truth about the government, the truth about the organization, the truth about the community. So it becomes very difficult. So as a researcher, it's very important to understand on protecting the rights and the well-being of individuals who participate in your research. And the second point is human subject protection is essential for maintaining public trust. Let me admit these people. Public trust and for maintaining public trust and in research. And as a researcher, it's very important for you to conduct a study. Your sample, your human subject should trust you, should know you, you should be open. You should make them feel confident that their rights and well-being will be protected. They are more likely to be willing to participate in your research. So while doing your research, it's very important to make your people or to make your sample trust you as a researcher, making them feel free and feel that they won't be facing any challenge in terms of who will know their privacy, in terms of who will judge them. So it's very important for a researcher to gain trust from your human subject, from your sample. If your sample doesn't trust you, you will end up getting lies, you will get false information, you will end up getting the data that are not suitable for you to say that you did this research. But at the moment that you have trust, it's very crucial and it's very important that you be having a very, very tangible research in paperwork that will be presenting to you. If it's university, it will be very tangible and it will be used as an example. And thirdly, why do we care about human subject is it human subject protection is important for integrity of research. When research is conducted ethically, the findings are likely to be reliable, trustworthy. This is because ethical research is designed to minimize bias and ensure that the data collected and analyzed in a fair and objective manner. So as a researcher, it's important for you. So protection of human subjects, it's important for it gives integrity of research, whereby you'll be having if the reliable data, you'll be having real information from your human subject. So provided that you conduct your study unethically, you'll end up getting untrustworthy data. You'll end up getting you'll be biased. You'll be forcing yourself to have a certain information, while in reality that's not real. So integrity of our research is very important for you to, as a researcher, to observe, and as a researcher, to observe while protecting the human subject. And conclusively, human subject is essential for protecting the rights and well-being of research participants, maintaining public trust in research, and ensuring the integrity of our research. So you, by observing human subject protection, it will give you the best result on your research or study. I hope that on that case, I hope that if anybody has a question, can ask, and I will respond before I go to another question. Hello. Okay.
Please.
Okay, I will proceed on the second question. If you have a question, you can just pop in, raise your hand, and we'll be happy to take a question. And or if you have a contribution. So the other part of this is, how do we follow research ethics and ethical guidelines? So after you seeing why important is human subject protection, how is it important? First, now it comes, how do we follow research ethics and ethical guidelines? Before embarking in any research project, the researcher and a research team will carefully consider whether the study can cause potential harm to anyone involved. If a researcher identifies any possible ill effects, the team will seek the best approach, minimize these effects. So it's very important for you to follow research ethics and ethical guidelines. One is for you to make sure that you carefully consider whether the study will cause potential harm to any involved participant while conducting your research. And the other point is, a researcher and the team will always provide sufficient information to reviewers, ethical boards, members, and participants to fully comprehend the scope of any research project under the aegis of a research team. So it's very important for you to provide sufficient information. My research maybe speaks of gender discrimination and its economic impact in maybe in a certain community in a certain country. But for you to go in that community, you just need to give them with sufficient information to the reviewers, and they review and see. So is this study applicable? So is this study important? Is this study worth it for us to keep on to allow you to proceed? So that would be very crucial for you to understand. So you should provide sufficient information for the reviewers, both researcher and the research team. The other point is the researcher and the research team will obtain informed consent from all parties involved on the research prior implementing the research project. So both researcher and the research team is an organization. It's very important to be well informed before conducting your research. So it will be very crucial, and I will me as a researcher, I'll be informed of what I'm doing. So for all parties to involved in a research prior implementing the research project should understand that I understand them, I know them carefully in detail. So my sample won't have a question on me, and me, I won't be doubting my sample. So you should carefully understand who you're going to study while you're conducting your research as a researcher. And the researcher and the research team will ensure confidentiality of all research subjects, including data streaming, for systematic review of documents, which might be considered sensitive due to race, ethnicity, religion, politics, healthy, and sexual orientation. So any data that you'll be providing, it's very important for you to ensure confidentiality. And I think this was even mentioned by why with the group that mentioned why human subject is protection is important. So it's very important. And you'll be see, okay, let me say I'm having a certain study based on a certain race. It's very important for you to understand what race are you speaking of, and how the other race won't be feeling offended with your study. Kindly, Harry, unmute yourself. Mute yourself, Mary. How do we follow research ethics and ethical guidelines again? So in the case of compilation of personal data from the informant, data will only be gathered further the study and will not be used for any other purpose. So the information gathered while doing your research will be used only for the study and not for any other purpose. So if you gather the information for a certain study and then I find it, my name appearing in a certain data while I wasn't being involved at a certain study, and again I'm here being mentioned, referred with the study that I know this person come with this another initiative. So it will be a trouble for you as a researcher for if I know my rights, but it will be a trouble for me if I didn't know my right and now I don't know anything on what is going on, and now people are getting personal and they want to know why did I say this and what did I mean. So it'd be very, very challenging for a researcher not to be very careful on how to use the information. And the method of processing data will be fully disclosed to informant before beginning data compilation. So after you've having data and before you process the data, the data should be disclosed to the informant before beginning data compilation. So this is when after you're being at your field and you have your information, everything, so you just go to them and tell them, so this is what I found on the field. So for them to know. Then after be knowing, it's when you start compiling your information on the study. And the other part is processed data. So processed data is anonymized or codified. So maybe they use for academic or educational purpose, such as publication, conference, teaching materials, and policy documents. Only if this has been included in written consent form signed by the informant. So before you process the data should be used for academic. Let's assume that you're doing a research on for your master's, for your degree, for your PhD. If you're doing your thesis for master or dissertation for master's, thesis for PhD, it's a challenge. You have it should be used for academic purpose only. And sometimes some of institution allows you to go with your documents in conferences and talk it out. And sometimes people find a lot of fun while presenting their research. So it's very crucial for us to observe that. And in the case of international research collaboration, in which the researcher or member of research team is is the lead investigator. The ethics, a statement of all the country involved in collecting and handling the data, will be studied. So it's very important to understand. So when you're from Kenya, then you wanna do your research in Tanzania. So it's very important to understand when you're in Tanzania, you should be having close relationship with a research monitoring institution. If it's academic, if it's IBR, the institution board that reviews research. But for Tanzania, it's at least now it's kind of complicated in terms of academics. For masters and PhD, we just need to be registered in a research regulatory organ. So it's very important for you to know. So you're coming here with your study. It will be very crucial for you to understand why are you in Tanzania and what are you gonna do. I don't know in Kenya about what's the process of you and the procedure for you doing research in your country. And there are also ethics in reporting findings. So ethics in reporting findings is important because it ensures that the findings of reports are accurate, objective, and fair. So it also helps to protect the rights and interests of the people who are involved in the report. So in terms of accuracy, the findings of a report should be based on accurate data and evidence. Objectivity, the finding of a report should be objective and unbiased. So if you're given a finding, it shouldn't be subjective. Don't be subjected as a researcher. Focus on your objective. What's your focus? What's your goal? So let you not find a way that, let me change this information that it can fit into this for my personal issues, but it should be objective, your research. And ethic, also a research should be fair enough for a report should be fair to all the people who are involved in the report. So it's very crucial for us to involve fairness while doing our findings and reports in any, if it's an academic or organization. It's very important to observe fairness. Confidentiality. Everyone has their level of privacy. So it won't be good for you to violate confidentiality of any of the person who involved in a report. Also transparency. The method of findings of a report should be transparent, and you should be open to your sample, to your people, to your case study. Maybe it's Arusha, maybe it's Nairobi. Be open. I'm going to Nairobi. I'll be meeting a certain person who will be giving me guidance about Nairobi and everything. Be open. And when you're open, it's when you get the right information. Who oversees researchers in different countries? This is the first question at our questions, and it's a very important question while doing a research. So it's a very tricky part of research ethics. Research is overseen by a variety of different entities, depending on the type of research being conducted. Some of the most common entities overseas research include these institutional review boards, like let's say academics, and we have in Tanzania we have an organ that's responsible for all researchers. So for academic researchers, we have academic research boards. You have your supervisor. We'll be supervising you and observe that you've followed all the ethics. But for Tanzania, we just need to go somewhere and follow, register, make sure that your university is registered. That's the work of academics. Then after they are done, they ensure that they are registered in that particular system. Then they will come to you and you'll be proceeding with your studies. So for universities that are not registered, it's very difficult for you to conduct a research because you'll be needed to pay almost $60. So that becomes a very big challenge. And how do we maintain ethics through all research phase? So this is a brief summary. And here we have the 7 commandments of ethical research, whereby they say that the ethical researchers do not steal by plagiarizing or claiming the results of others. That's one. Do not lie by misreporting source or by inventing results. You don't forge. In university, we have that tendency of cooking data. Yeah, we don't misreport. We don't invent our own results. Okay, we do not destroy sources in data for those who follow. So we won't change the information. If a person said it's a yes, you write it as a yes. You won't write it as a no. And do not submit whose accuracy they have reasons to question. That's a very, very tricky part of we students while we were doing our BA paperwork. So it was a very big challenges that we have. Our accuracy, they have reasons to question. Even a person thinks, why is this data? Where does it come from? Who said this? How did this person say? And why did you come into this conclusion? So you just need, for you to write make a research that it's easy, readable, and understandable. It won't give me a room to question more. And do not conceal objection that they cannot rebut. So objections, it's very important. Do not conceal objection. And it's as a researcher, it's very crucial that you observe objection that won't rebut back to you. And also it's do not caricature those with opposing view. They deliberately state their view in a way they would reject. So do not change other people's view. Why will other people's view say? So if my view or my perspective in maybe let's say in governance in Africa is maybe it's in a very negative side, do not change it. Just give it just present it as I said. But if I said don't mention my name, you just say one of the, I said with one of the sample one, maybe sample two. It depends on how you will be naming your samples and how you are allowed to name your sample. So that would be very crucial for you to observe. Do not deliberately state their view in the way they would reject. So find a way that when you speak out their views, it's how they say it. So it won't be easier for them to reject. And lastly, is do not write their reports in the way that deliberately makes it difficult for readers to understand them, nor do they simplify that which is legitimately complex. So it's very important for you as a researcher to make sure that you write your own study in a way that everyone can understand, while a reader reads, understands them very, very, very carefully and in a very proper manner. There won't be need for a person maybe to give them interpretation. What did this person mean here? What does this statement mean? But it's important for you to find a very simple language that would be easier for everyone to understand while presenting your research. So in summary, we as a researcher, it's our responsibility as researchers to ensure that our research is properly designed, scientifically sounding, yields valid results. We do what we say we're going to do. The study is proved by institutional review boards and conducted according to protocol. Informed consent is appropriately obtained. The rights and welfare of the participants are monitored through the study. The risks and benefits of the research are positively balanced. Participant anonymity and confidentiality are appropriately maintained, and all participants, including those from underprivileged and marginalized population, have an opportunity to have their voice and interpretation fully presented. Now here is another tricky part of a researcher. Marginalized population having opportunity to their voices and interpretation fully presented. It's a very challenging issue, and it's a very cross-cutting challenge in most of African countries. We present our research, but most of our research just speak of positivity. We are afraid of presenting the negative side. the dark side of governance. And this is, it's very, 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 very challenging in some institutions. And if you allow me, it would be very, very good for me to say, my fellows participants in this facilitation, you'll agree with me. A lot of African countries, we tend to speak of positivity instead of the negative part of the study. So I believe if anyone with a question can raise the hand or can unmute and talk and air out their view and what's their take, what's your question, and where didn't you understand, you need clarity on it. I'll be very good for me to give an explanation on that. Kindly.
Thank you, God listen. Let's have questions. I've seen one, but it's disappeared on my chat. Let's ask our questions. Do we have any dilemmas right now that we are struggling with for our research?
Oh, yeah, I've seen the question on a chat box. The question is, can the findings be used for non-academic purposes if the respondent were not informed? Example, for creating an organization's policies. If they were not informed, I think now that will show that your research was unethical. Because for them for your respondent to be involved in your research, it's important for them to be informed on any action or activity that will be done with your study. So I think that won't be very good for you to use your findings in non-academic purposes if you didn't inform your respondent. But provided that your respondent, they knew that this data is for non-academic purposes, it would be very good if you present. And if you're creating an organization policy, it's very good that Robert, kindly mute. So it's very important for you to understand, if you're developing an organization policy, it's crucial for you to understand every part of, firstly, your respondents should be within your organization, so as you can develop a really and a tangible policy. I hope that I will be answering your question in case you need clarification on anything that I say.
Thank you, Niti. The question was actually, if the respondents are informed, is it okay to use the information for non-academic reasons? So can the information be used for non-academic, for both academic and non-academic, as long as the respondents are informed?
Yes, if they're informed what you're doing, it's okay. But it just depends on what context that information those respondents are. Because if you are creating an organization policy, I believe you'll be telling your people in your organization that after I'm doing this, maybe this policy implementation strategy, I'll be using it for my academics. That would be very important. And I think in masters and other postgraduate, is what people do in their research. So they go in the organization. So I'll be having maybe the weaknesses of legal framework in, let's say I'm working with AFCFTA on AFCFTA. So my questionnaire will be basing on AFCFTA staffs. So if I have them fill in the document, this will help me even creating, and I will tell them that I'll be using it for my academic purposes and also for the organization purpose. So it'd be used, one, to generate the legal framework policies, and two, I will present it in my academic or institution board. And this is what my study did. It helped my organization to generate a legal framework policy or to generate an organization policy. That would be very important. You should inform them, then you'll be using them both for non-academic and academic purposes.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome, Mugure. Yeah, another question, kindly.
Let's ask our questions. We have 13 minutes. Anyone who has applied for the IRB, have you gone past that? Any challenges you're facing? Maybe they've told you to repeat some ethical issues. Is there something you're struggling with? You can ask. I think for me, the one I have, God listen,
Yes.
this is Aurelia, is I'm right now looking for my research topic. And one of the things that I was very surprised with my institution, I wanted
Yeah.
to study about the sexual reproductive health of the aging population, because most of the sexual reproductive health is most of the studies focus on reproductive age up to 49. But after 49, we don't have a lot of studies. But I was very surprised because my supervisor said that because of ethical issues around sexuality, that the university will not allow me to do such a topic. And I found that really odd because I thought as long as you adhere to the research ethics, then I don't think a topic like that should be disqualified. So I don't know what are your thoughts about that, but that was my recent situation.
Okay. Okay, Aurelia. Okay, I will ask you. What exactly are you studying? Because you say it's an academic.
It's for a master's degree. So I wanted to study the sexuality experiences of aging population. So speak to
And
them just generally about how they're accessing sexuality health, how they're accessing services. Yeah.
so what in your masters, what what masters you are in leadership on masters on leadership, masters on healthy, masters on kind
Healthcare
health,
management. Healthcare
healthcare.
management.
And the organization of that organization or that institution, do they have a policy that says that states about what they want, what's their thematic areas?
No, they do not have, but it's also a Christian university. So I don't know if that is the challenge, that because they're Christian university, they don't want us speaking about sexuality issues, which for me, I found like it is like dragging students not to research certain topics.
Maybe it depends on how you presented it, because there are some institutions they don't really want to involve themselves on sexuality, because if you just present something about sexuality, they are going in another part of the current trend of the world. Um, but I believe if it was it's about health, that was if I was your lecturer, that was a very, very good research topic, because it's very, very surprising seeing people being concerned from 0 to 49, then from 49 above, from 50. Who talks for them? How is the situation in this age? Now that's a very big challenge. And I believe it's that maybe the institution itself doesn't want to be involved in those issues, but if it's healthy, I believe that was a very, very good topic. If for them even to believe about having a project about it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, unless there are something Or if possible, you can share your proposal and I will review it and I will maybe I will review it and I will let you know how is it.
Okay, I didn't even write the proposal. He refused it at the topic place.
Oh,
I'm
you are the
just mentioning the topic. Yeah.
oh that was I thought even you had something like a very brief summary paper to give them. Okay, then
No.
we will keep in touch. You'll just tell me what do you have. You will explain to me furthermore because I believe that you spoke a lot while presenting your title.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question? We still have few minutes, 7 minutes. Still on time. Hello. Okay, I will proceed with just a bottom line, a very brief summary that research ethic is the bottom line of our research. Researchers are accountable and must show respect to colleagues in their profession and society at large. So you as a researcher, it's important to respect, to be accountable, and to your colleagues or to your samples for in their profession and even the society in large that you'll be conducting your study. And that will be the end of my presentation. I would love to say thank you for your time and your attention. And just in case you have any contribution, any addition, anything, because I will have 2 books I will share to Ariel, and Ariel will share with you people, and you'll have access to review how you can do quantitative and qualitative researches. And just in case you need any guideline, any support, I'll be willing and I would be very happy to contribute to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, God listen. Does anyone have something to say? Thank you for that session. I've put the feedback form. I've put the feedback form on the chat. Please share your feedback about today's session. Anyone with a comment, please just mention now. Feel free. Here we just speak our minds. Feel free to share any comment. And if you're having any struggles with your research, just say it. We will share resources that God Listen has shared. I also have one on ethics that I'll also add to that, so that at least you have all it takes to be able to do a good ethical paper. Remember, we said ethics is not just because we are avoiding to do harm, which is important. It also speaks to the quality and the integrity and the rigor of our research. So if we don't have good ethics, then also the findings, the conclusions we draw, people might actually doubt them, and they may not be considered good science. So ethics is good for protection and also for good science.
Thank you for that amazing conclusion.
So please share your feedback click on the link and share your feedback on ethics session. Thank you, God Listen. We wish you well. You said you're doing your master's. We also wish you well as you do your master's. Even I am doing my second master's, so I'm also in that stage of thinking about the ethics of my research topic. So I think we are all learning.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
Thank
People
you so much.
appreciate your presentation. Thank you. Thank you. So good people, let me wish you then well. Have a good evening. We will share the materials and resources. And thank you, God Listen. We wish you The very best from Ada Africa. Take
Thank you
care.
so much.
Mm.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All
Yeah.
right. Mm.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you.